Freaking guest Wi-Fi. I hate this.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
I know words, I have the best words.
Took a break from being disruptive to enjoy the company of her male companion. He briefly had a grasp on the situation before ushers returned.
Take a look at the oranges of the... Look, wait. They sacrifice every day for the furniture, future.
Some words that have been said about you.
Okay. Nazi wine mom, Nazi cave woman.
I don't let name calling bother me or offend me.
This one's from someone across the pond, a daft wanker. That's British for stupid. Lives on a diet of glue sticks. A lower level life form.
Cephahide.
He's a war hero because he was captured.
Welcome, everyone, to the very first episode of Left is Right. And if you're smart enough to figure out that that's a play on words, you're in the right place. Yes, you are. Your host, Steve Weekly. Not the man with the brains. That's what my co-host is for. She is my sister, attorney Dawn Weekly. Welcome.
Hello. That intro kind of stops really abruptly.
Yeah, it does. I did mention first episode, right? So I can work on that, maybe get that a little better. But
write that down.
yeah, extend that just a touch. Yeah. So just a little idea of what you're going to see in our show. We are going to talk about topics.
We're here to talk about bowling, right?
Exactly. Bowling. I had a 300 the other day. No, I didn't.
Sure.
No, we're going to talk about political topics, local, state, federal, mostly federal. And if you haven't got the gist yet, we are going to give the more progressive side of the aisle. Therefore, left is right. Sorry, I came up with it. Don't blame me. It's not Dawn's fault. But first topic I want to discuss was recently. His Royal Orangeness got booed at an event, and we were lucky enough to have a cameraman there to see what happened.
A lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion in this room. Thank you. So the really nice thing is we have lines, but we have lines going all around the block. They're going all around this block. They've never seen anything like this one. And I think it's going to be a big success. That's the real deal.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't our cameraman. I might have fibbed. But so what do you think, Dawn? You gonna get in that line around the block to get a pair of golden trumpers?
Yeah, $399 is just a drop in the bucket. And, I would just kill to have one of those garishly ugly shoes.
I mean, I'm torn personally between the new Jordans and the trumpers. I
mean,
mean,
absolutely. Because gold is the color you want your shoes to be.
True. I think MJ needs to take a little cue from his Royal Orangeness and put a little gold in his shoes.
Yeah. Did you happen to catch the Daily Show last night?
I did not. I was unable.
They did a segment, man in the street interviewing people about the shoes and asking if they would buy the shoes. And they were all like, yeah, no, not buying that shoe.
Really?
It's surprising.
Surprising. I mean,
yeah,
$3.99. That's so cheap for a collector's shoe.
Selling these shoes at Speaker Con. It's a little on the nose, don't you think?
A little bit. But what I'm really interested in is getting a nice whiff of that Trump cologne that he's selling. I assume personally that it smells a lot like bullshit, like everything else that he does. But just guessing. I'm just guessing.
There was something about leather and being under amber, and the line on the Daily Show was the last time he was under amber, they had to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Wonder how much Amber's going to get paid this time when she sues him.
Right?
Oh.
So let's see. In order to get that $83 million, he'd have to sell 208,000 pairs of shoes.
That's I'm sure he is well on his way. He's probably got at least 5 pairs sold by now.
You can never, as P.T. Barnum said, you can never underestimate the intelligence of the American populace. So
that was easy for you to say. And yes, you're right. You're right.
I had to think about it. Was it over or under? Over or under? Over. Quit calling me Shirley.
Do you like gladiator movies? Well, on a somewhat lighter note, I know that you and I both are huge fans of his primary opponent, Nikki Haley.
Mm-hmm. Neck and neck.
Neck and neck.
It's a horse race.
It's more of, who put that giraffe in that horse race? Because that's a long neck. Okay, let's face it, folks. We're not big fans of Nikki Haley, just to be completely honest. But his royal orangeness did something the other day that was sort of disgusting. So I made another clip about it. Let's watch.
A lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion in this room.
Freaking guest Wi-Fi. I hate this.
A lot of emotion.
Wow. Thank God it's the first episode. Got to remember to put the buttons in the right spot. Hold on. Redo over. Let's see that video.
Then she comes over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. Sir, I will never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's her husband? Oh, he's away.
Governor Nikki Haley and her children among the families as the governor's husband, Lieutenant Michael Haley, left on his first deployment overseas.
He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband?
The 218th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade are being deployed to Africa for a year to support the United States Africa Command. A part of the brigade is the husband of presidential candidate Nikki Haley, Major Michael Haley. The Haley family was all together Saturday to send him off.
Where is he? He's gone.
Yeah.
Does he know?
Are the people around him trying to see how poor of a campaign they can run and still get elected, or
are they trying to see what people will swallow and just believe whole cloth and go along with? Why even do that? He's serving overseas. That would be, a lot of people think that's patriotic. It's a good thing. Why would you even bring that up?
Yeah, especially when everyone knows that you're, the 10 deferment bone spurs guy who, didn't serve, and you're giving shit to somebody who is serving. I mean, I don't understand. For the life of me, I cannot understand what they are thinking. It's got to just be him.
But he has to know, because otherwise, why would he say where's he at? So he has to know on somehow.
Right. Exactly. He knows that he's not here, but
it's just amazing how he seems to take shit and give it to his MAGA, and they make it into Shinola. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what you can get a group of 15,000 people with a combined brain cell total of 6 to believe. It never ceases to amaze me how the people in his base refuse to use logic, refuse to use common sense. It took me 5 seconds to find that information.
Yeah.
What is it? Fake? It's fake news. He left her. He's not going overseas. He just left her. That's fake news. He hired 2 news broadcast teams to cover something that didn't happen. Apparently, I don't understand.
Yeah, and on the other hand, why doesn't anybody say, well, okay, but where's Melania?
Well,
haven't seen her in an age. Been a couple minutes since I've seen her. Where's she at?
True, but if you were Melania, I mean,
oh yeah, she's hoping that he goes to jail. But why doesn't anybody say that? Why doesn't anybody say, well, where's he? Where's Melania?
Right, and what exactly does it matter? I mean, yes, I did cut up that clip a little bit, but throughout everything he was saying on the subject, none of it tied together as to what her husband has to do with anything.
Well, it's a norm that the spouse goes campaigning and helps, but he's broken all other norms, so why this one? What's so great about this norm? It's just it. He's not abiding by that norm. Melania's not helping him. So how can, but that does not stop him from, poking at her to say, you're not abiding by this norm of having your spouse with you. And relying on the fact that his followers aren't gonna figure out that he's not with her because he's serving overseas in the military.
Right. No, that makes sense. Although I will say, in one respect, I do sort of understand his Orangeness's feelings, what he's feeling, because when I was in grade school, I was in the classes with the kids with the helmets, and I really didn't need to be there. And it does give you a little bit of a God complex to see how much smarter you are than everybody around you. I mean, I guess I can understand it. Unfortunately, that was only 1 year, so I didn't get used to it. I went right back to being the guy in the corner, sitting there wondering what was going on.
And you had me for comparison too, so.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Let's see. National Honor Society.
No.
No.
Uh-uh.
Illinois State Scholar.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's right. Illinois. Yeah, the smart one, not the popularity contest. You're right.
At least in our high school. It was a little bit back then. Yeah. Our problem was that the teachers voted on you, and I took all the college-bound courses, and all the teachers who were not in that didn't know who I was because I never took their classes.
Gotcha.
Because we had that teacher strike and everybody quit and all that good stuff. So.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
whatever. I mean, I had to earn my stuff. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, and what is it? Is it 3 college diplomas?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, just your normal.
You're normal.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're much smarter than me. Moving on. So now to a serious question I have. What do you think the Supreme Court is going to do about Colorado kicking his orangeness off the ballot?
So from the oral arguments that they had,
you said oral. Oh, sorry.
This is why everybody thinks I'm smarter than you, because I can make it through that. From oral arguments, it seemed readily apparent that none of them really wanted to accept Colorado's argument. And they seemed to be looking for a way, something to hang their hat on, to not find for Colorado. And I would be shocked if they agreed with Colorado and said, yeah, you can keep them off the ballot. I would be shocked. I think that they're probably going to rely on that there has to be some federal congressional action to find that a person was committing or aiding or abetting an insurrection before a state could make that finding. So in other words, they're going, Colorado had a trial, and at that trial, the fact finder, I don't know if it was a judge or a jury, decided that that he was part of an insurrection. He took place in it, whether it was aiding, abetting, or whatever. And so based on that, then Colorado said, you're insurrectionist, you can't be on the ballot. Now that's different than Maine. In that state, the Secretary of State, I believe, is the person who's responsible for deciding that. And she decided on her own that, he couldn't be on the ballot because of the 14th Amendment. And she had no, trial or anything like that. She just did an evaluation and wrote a report. And so that's why there was 2 different decisions, which is why the Supreme Court needs to decide the competing decisions. And I think they're going to throw both of them out and say that you can't do that because then each state could have different findings.
But here's the thing. That's very hypocritical, being that just recently they took something away from,
they're all about the state's rights.
Yeah, they took something away from lady. I don't remember what it was, and said something about each individual state should be able to make up their own mind. But in this case,
right? Oh yeah,
no, I can't have that. Can't have that.
Yeah, no, this court's all about states' rights, except when it's inconvenient.
Yeah, states' rights unless the state does something we don't like.
Right, but I'm from the way oral arguments were going, it seems like that's what they're going to find. So they're probably, gonna. I was thinking that they were going to take away the ballot case and say they were going to fine for Trump, basically, and say you can't take him off the ballot. But then on the immunity, find against Trump and say you have no immunity. But now Trump didn't even appeal to the Supreme Court. So that splitting the baby theory that I thought they were going to go with, they don't even have the baby to split anymore. But I still think they're not going to go ahead and take him off the ballot, because I think that
I'm sorry to interrupt, but if they keep splitting babies like that, they might accidentally perform an abortion, in which case
stop it.
They're in deep shit. I'm just saying.
But I think that part of it is that they're afraid that the fringe might, erupt. And it's got to be in the back of their minds. Plus, with some of them, like Clarence Thomas, he's been paid for his decision.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely.
So, which brings up is he or isn't he going to quit in 30 days and get millions from John Oliver?
Yeah, I would say probably not, because he's getting a little more than that to stay on and, do what he's told like a good boy. Ooh, I did say it. Yeah, I did. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Sorry. It'll come back, and I'll interrupt you.
But that's the way I think that I think that they're going to make him be on the ballot, or they're going to hold it long enough, because he's on the ballot provisionally, as I understand it. They left him on the ballot, pending the court case, and maybe they will just hold off on their decision until after the primary, and that kind of moots the subject,
Right.
But
Sure.
Either way, I think they're going to make sure that he's on the ballot.
No, absolutely.
Because to take him off is going to make the MAGA right lose their minds. Not that they haven't already, but.
Thank you. The train just pulled back in. I think to be completely honest, and please let me be wrong, but we're so far down the road on this that no matter what happens, the MAGA douche-noggles are going to erupt and have some sort of temper tantrum no matter what happens, unless he, wins. And then, and then they'll get what they want for the first 30 days, and then he'll declare himself dictator and be in until he dies. And they're going to be all up in arms about that. Because, wait a minute, we're supposed to be able to vote. Well, yeah.
You can vote in Russia. You can vote in Russia.
That's true.
You'll still be able to vote.
And that's right. And he does feel that he should be able to kill his political adversaries. Absolutely. So, yeah. I mean, it's all playing out just the way it's supposed to, I guess.
Well, I don't disagree that, we may be in for a reckoning of some kind, of some sort.
Wait. Hold on. You're supposed to say that we in for some sort of reckoning.
I haven't got that.
They ain't never going to understand where you done just said.
I can't Trey Crowder it.
Yeah, nice.
But I'm taking a lot of solace from. I just finished Rachel Maddow's book and prequel, and I'm taking a lot of solace from the fact that we've really been here before and we made it through.
True.
So, and I actually just watched a PBS American, what's it called? American Experiences on PBS.
I believe so, yes. I don't know, PBS. That's smart type TV. I ain't never saw no more.
But it was called, I think it was called Not See America. I watched it today. You can tell how much I was paying attention. I was at work. It was while I was working. That's my excuse. But,
and if you are one of her clients.
Shut up.
She wasn't watching it at work, just in case you were wondering.
I wasn't watching it per se. I was listening to it while I was working.
All right, well, hold on to that thought.
America, and
hold on to that thought, because we're going to take a commercial break because I have to go make water, and I'll be right back. So stay tuned, and Left is Right. We'll be right back.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school. These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I needed for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
And I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Trisha's having a sleepover tonight. Can I go?
I wonder about Lucy's friends. What should I say? I know you're only 10, but one of these days a friend will offer you a drink. And alcohol at your age can lead to so many things. None of them good.
So can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me
I
something.
finished my homework.
Bigger promise. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
Sure.
Really?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov, a public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
And welcome back to Left is Right. I guess I could have played a little bit heavier commercials, but that's what I had. So those are more public service announcements, but you know, we ain't got no money yet. So if anybody's out there is interested in advertising during this fiasco, just call me Cash, baby. Just call me Cash. Yeah, back to what you were saying. Something?
Did you just flip us?
No, that was finger pistols. Woo!
No, I thought we were the other way around before. Oh, well.
Really?
Yeah. I thought you were over there and I was over there. No?
Yeah, cool. I don't know how I did that, but I should be frankly in front. Just makes sense to me. So
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
The video gods that made this correct now. I don't know what I'm doing. But before we were so rudely interrupted by the call of nature, you were saying?
I don't know. What was I saying?
You watched a PBS documentary.
Oh, and it was about Nazis in America in the 30s and the American-German Bund and the Nazi camps that they had for the kids.
Cool.
Yeah. And
learn how to make cyanide gas.
Yeah. Now, of course, in the 30s, people didn't understand what, you know, Nazis and fascism.
True.
You know what the logical extension of that was, but they were full on anti-Semitic, definitely.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on.
And kind of like how today they're full on anti-LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Just a different hate for different people.
It's just a different anti.
But we made it through that period. So
Okay.
that gives me hope that we'll make it through this period without having to go through, you know, like a blood in the root of the trees or whatever Thomas Jefferson said, full out civil revolution.
Cool. I mean, you had me with the blood of the tree, but
What was it Thomas Jefferson said, that every generation needs to have a revolution with the blood of the root of the tree?
the roots of democracy are fed by the blood of the innocent or some crazy shit like that. Not real sure. I could be wrong,
I was
Chris.
kind of revolted, so I don't remember what it was. But I remember there was a tree and there was blood, and it was Thomas Jefferson.
Cool. I like how you're relying on me for the smart stuff. Yeah, no, we'll get through it, but I do feel that there's gonna be some MAGA hill rods getting put down before it's over. Unfortunately, I don't think they're just going to be bringing.
We're going to take it to the vet. What do you mean put down?
Well, I've got a feeling that they're actually going to try an armed revolt this time with more than just clubs and bear spray, and that it's going to get pretty serious, and somebody's going to lose a life this time. And well,
you mean somebody other than Ashley Babbitt?
Yeah, and it's really depressing that they're just. I know that a lot of people want to think that they're stupid. They're not stupid. They're lazy. They're lazy. It's too hard to think for themselves and think around the corners. And they're just being lazy. And that laziness is going to cause a lot of people an awful lot of pain. And when it's totally avoidable, it's just depressing as hell.
Well, and I don't even really agree. I think that most people who are in the Trump clan are operating.
You said clan.
Are operating from the standpoint of feelings rather than thinking. They feel understood and heard because he speaks to their grievances, and so they feel like they're part of a clan or a group. They're all in this together because we don't have any of that anymore. Everybody's so disparate and disjointed, and it's hard to get a feeling of togetherness. And they have a feeling of grievance, and Trump speaks to that, and that makes them feel good. So I don't think they're lazy or dumb. I think they just like feeling good. But I feel like they're gonna be led to a dangerous place. And I remember reading 1984, George Orwell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course you're thinking, oh, this is horrible, this is bad. And all those people just blindly going along with the doublespeak and what the Ministry of Truth says, and how could they do that? And
I'm just going to interrupt you right there. You are way, way giving most MAGA guys too much credit. Not one of them has ever read 1984. Never happened.
That may or may not be true. I think that's not true because I think some, especially the ones in my class who had to read that book the same time I did, I know they read that book and they're MAGA. So that's not true. But
that's true, but they already dumbed down education enough by the time I was in that we didn't have to read that.
No, well,
But we did have people protesting over having to read Animal Farm, comrade.
What?
Yeah, there was two kids in my class whose parents refused to let them read Animal Farm, and when we read it as a class, they had to leave the room.
Why? What's objectionable about Animal Farm?
Because it's a communist manifesto.
No, I think the opposite is true, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, but they would never know because they never read the book.
Ah, I see. So you want to let me make my point now?
Oh, sorry. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So thinking about 1984 and trying
and getting around to it,
and in my mind trying to apply it to what's going on today, who is the deceiver, who's the propagandist, and who's not? Because of course, Trump and his people say that it's Biden and the government that are lying. They are the true propagandists, and everything they say isn't true, and what they say is true. And of course, Biden says, well, what they're saying isn't true. What we're saying is true. So how do you know? And that's part of the trick, is to get everybody so tired trying to figure out what the truth is that they just stop doing that. But so I kind of like put myself, okay, so if I am over here believing Trump, and there is a deep state, and all the QAnon conspiracies are true, and there is a Jewish cabal running everything.
Keep going. Just so you know, I'm going to cut this and use it later out of context. So keep going. We're good.
Stop it. And Trump is the one telling the truth, and he's, the J6 people are the freedom fighters. If that is true, is that true? Or is it that the Biden and the government and those people who the normies, or are the normies the one who are telling the truth? And trying to figure out, okay, so which is which? In order to believe that Trump is telling the truth, and you would have to believe that this man, who is not a Christian, never been a Christian, only holds the Bibles upside down.
Excuse me, but he is the second coming of the Lord.
Has been found guilty of rape, has been found guilty of fraud.
Well, that's because the new Messiah is just updated for 2024.
Before he got involved in politics, he was found guilty of fraud, declared bankruptcy 6 times, hung out with Epstein, right? Yeah, Jeff Epstein, hung out with him.
Jeff, really? First name basis. All right.
Has 3 wives who he cheated on each previous wife with the next wife, has babies with 3 different women, and is just and mocked the disabled person, made fun of him holding his arm like that. And when he meets people, grabs their arm, and does a little power play.
Keep going, because I'm not sure. I mean, you are changing my mind. He sounds like a really cool guy.
And when he was meeting with world leaders, he pushes people out of the way to get to the front. And in what world is that the guy? In what world is he the good guy? Not in a world I grew up in.
If you look back at that clip of him pushing his way in that world's leaders thing, Andrea Merkel was about to goose step him right in the nuts.
Yeah.
If you watch that.
Yeah. And so, in no world that I grew up in, where up is up and down is down, is that going to be the good guy? The people who ban books are never the good guys. The people who want to shut other people up are antithetical to freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is where the good guys live. So even if even if I were to want to believe QAnon conspiracies and all that, it just doesn't line up with everything that I've ever learned from my life experience as to who the good guys are. So it seems like a very simple question to me about who's telling the truth and who's not. It's not those guys. So is the government always telling the truth? Well, probably not. But they're not specifically out to harm anybody. They're trying to do what they think is right for the country, even if they're lying about it. Like people in the CIA, they're lying about stuff, but their mission is to protect the country and yada, So it's a benevolent lie.
Well, I'll give you that, but let's be serious. UFOs are real, and they should just say so.
or they're spinning things to try to put a frame on it to
Yes,
put them in the
UFOs, they're
best light
spinning.
possible. But
That's how they fly.
we all do that. That's different than propaganda. Spin is different than propaganda. It's like the difference between
Got a pretty thin
carbon
string there,
monoxide and carbon dioxide. They sound similar, but they're different.
It's the I part, I know. No, I agree.
So it seems like a simple question to me. And no matter how good it feels to be a part of that team, you know, it's not right. It's not. They're not. They're not the good guys.
You know what? And you're absolutely correct, because everyone knows left is right. See how I work man, I'm a marketing genius. Okay, maybe not. But, you know, that worked out well for me that time.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I would have said left is correct, but, you know, that's just me.
It doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well as left is right.
But it's more specific and correct.
Absolutely. And make sure you touch the entry key 3 times there, OCD. On a more local note, I will say that I was pleasantly surprised a little bit when yesterday Jerry Reinsdorf met with Governor J.B. Pritzker and met him with hat in hand and asked him kindly for a couple $2 billion so he can have a new playground to play a game in. And I will give it to JB. He said, go fly a kite.
Oh, please, sir. Could I have a couple billion? Oh, please.
Yeah. What I would love to know how do you get in the mindset to if I own the White Sox, me personally, and I wanted a new playground for my team to play on, I would assume I have to build that myself if I want to keep all the money from tickets and all that crap. How does it get into your head that, well, the state needs to fund this? How is that? What is the thinking behind that?
The thinking is all the economic activity that you bring to the area is good for the area, and they don't want to lose that. So you have some power. You have some bargaining. You have a bargaining chip there.
Yeah, but he doesn't, because the area he's talking about moving to is in the same freaking zip code. So you're not changing the economic impact of an area.
But he can go to Arlington Heights or Naperville.
No, he can't, because he doesn't have property in Arlington Heights. That's the Bears.
Oh, sorry. I jumped the shark, didn't I?
I was talking about Jerry Reinsdorf.
Oh, sorry. I was only paying attention because it was sports and I was bored.
Yeah, I know. I forgot you don't work on a sports program most of the week like I do. So
right. And you know, it's baseball. We already got one team. He could move it to somewhere else.
Yeah, and it's the Sox. They've sucked for so long. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. The Sox have reached a rough patch in the road. Totally brought on by their ownership. But still, just a rough patch in the road. I'm sure they'll be back on top and still losing to the Cubs within 4 or 5 years. Man, I just killed our audience like in half.
Yeah. So here's something.
Sorry about that, folks.
Here's something local that's political. Would you like
cool.
that?
Yeah, being that's, I guess, if that's what you're going to talk about.
So I got no less than, well, we went and got the mail today.
Back off, comrade, with your socialist activities there.
Understand that we actually go to the mailbox about once every 3 weeks. So there's that. But we
Nice.
went and got the mail today, and there was no less than 3 things in there from 3 different people running for a Democrat, running as a Democrat in LaSalle County.
Holy crap, the commies are trying to take over.
That's the first time I have seen mailings from Democrats in my mail since I've lived here.
Oh my God, white flight is real. Democrats running in LaSalle County?
I know. Well, that just goes. That's a
Dogs are
little bit.
laying with cats left and right. Oh my God.
There's a tidbit for you.
Oh, cool. I like tidbits.
A local tidbit for you. There's people going, maybe I'll run as a Democrat, which previously did not happen in these here parts.
True. Although I will say that I know for a fact in the past, several Democrats have run as Republicans, got elected, and, did
And acted accordingly.
Yeah, and acted accordingly. So, I mean, I understand. But no, that's very encouraging that they're at least going to run. I mean, there's no chance in hell they'll win, but they'll at least run, which is nice. I mean, yeah, they could win. I mean, if like 3/4 of the population of LaSalle County were to move or take the bucket or.
Now, during, I think it was Obama's last term, we did actually have a Democratic sheriff in LaSalle County. So, these things do tend to bubble up from time to time. But I felt that was a lot of Democratic activity in our area. So
No, that's encouraging.
Yeah. Not to be confused with Swanee Swanson's signs on his auction house. Which
Let's not get that local and personal. Jiminy Christmas. I'm going to have to go in and edit this now. Yeah, I'm going to have to go in and edit this. Jeez. Well, how do you feel about our first episode?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, give me your feelings. I want to know your feelings.
Well, when I was a kid.
Oh, shit. Here we go. All right.
Well, maybe it's not as boring as I thought it was going to be.
Well, good.
No.
Good. Well, I'm hoping that the 2, maybe 3 viewers that we have, or the 1, thank you, Debbie, at least somewhat enjoyed it. I will work on the opening. That will be better by next week. And hopefully by next week, I'll have a closing video so that we're not just going to leave people in a lurch like we are this week. But with that being said, it was nice talking with you. It was nice talking to our viewer. And I hope that this is one of many. If you have any input on the show, besides drop dead, you commie pinko, because I'm sure we're going to get a ton of those. Please, by all means, hit us up. We're on Facebook at Left is Right. We're also on YouTube on Left is Right 2024. So, yeah, I guess with that being said, have a good week, and we're out.